Hey guys, Wolfie here with a special presentation for the City of Final Fantasy Opera Amiel Global for the 20th of June 2020. This will be all eyes on Keiss. Now I did one of these types of videos for RCL earlier this month, so the same exact rules apply. This will be the strengths and the weaknesses. I will be referring to the TonberryTroupe infographic in this particular video, which their information does come from Terrierpot as well as the Dissidia database website. With these types of videos, this is my opinion only, and I was originally thinking, do a special message at the end for the Facebook faction of the community, but that's going to be a separate video altogether in the form of a video log. So, with that out of the way, we're just going to go into stuff like, his kids, the good side, the bad side, all that. So this is pretty much the bio we have here for Keiss, a tough, silky male who cozies up to tribes he dislikes for his own purposes. Far from subservient, though, he carries conviction and works lightheartedly for the sake of his dream. He and Leia recognize each other's abilities and rely on the other while on their numerous jobs together. Now we have here his moveset thus far. And the reason why I say it like this is because his lost chapter has yet to show up on the JP side, with speculation going around with his 80 awakening and his LD when that happens, which should be sometime in July. So skill 1 we have here is Silky Throw. This is an AoE splash style damage, meaning that the intended target gets everything. In this case for Keiss's skill 1, the splash damage to the non-targets is half of what the intended target gets. This is really good if you're dealing with the non-targets, they're almost being dead, and the intended target is almost dead but has a little bit more HP, and this could actually finish it off. So this is excellent. And like I said, this is AoE splash style, meaning that the intended target gets everything in Keiss's case. This is also half to the non-targets. Hero Support, which is skill 2. This is a single target. This has a bit of a jack of all trades mechanic into it, meaning that a little bit of turn manipulation, and this is where his version of the launch happens. It's like it gives it to somebody else and initiates a launch sequence. So that's that on that. But like I said, this is a jack of all trades with the turn manipulation and chase at the same time. Now skill 3 is Sky High. This is AoE split, meaning that, for example, if this were to deal 45,000 HP damage total, and there are 3 enemies on the screen, it would be 15,000 HP damage to each target. Because 15 times 3 is 45, you get the deal. So his additional ability is Hero Support Recovery All. This restores 1 use of Hero Support. Also raises the party's attack by a small number. The base version meaning that it's a raw number, the raw number being 5. It's for around 3 turns, give or take. The Bloomstone and the Crystal Level 70 extension. This is 5% for the party's raise and attack. He also gets 2 additional uses of the additional ability, that sort of thing. And you also notice here, I only have his 15 and his 35 CP armor all maxed out. My route with Keiss right now is that I'm going to go the token route, meaning that I'm going to use the weapon tokens. I'm not far off the 25. So I'm close in that regard to go after his 35 that way. There is an update coming on the EX Weapon Shop for Global where all the EX weapons will be available in the game. This will include Keiss alongside Arciela and a bunch of other units that have yet to have their EX weapon return. So that's my route with Keiss, and the reason why I'm doing that is because my energy got really bad with Alphino, so I am, monitoring my resources a little bit more closely. And no, I do not care about missing out. But anyway, so we're going to go over the good and the bad with Keiss. Like I said, I want to be fair. And I do want to address some certain things here and there regarding what some in the Facebook community has said. And how I feel and why I feel that way. So But like I said, I do have a video, hopefully tomorrow or Monday, addressing the Facebook community in Keiss. That's just going to be, what I've been hearing and what I have to say about that. But anyway, so with Keiss, I will be completely honest. And for somebody who is anti-meta, he is an excellent unit all around. He's got a very, very great kit. And he works well with several types of units. And the fact that he could probably make other people a launcher, for some, it's the icing on the cake. He is ideal for the chase style. And and the fact that the AA is in helping of hero support, this is really good on the developer's end for this. So, you gotta give credit where it's due. So, to reiterate real quickly, he's the jack of all trades here. It's really good. The turn manipulation chase style with skill 2. This is an excellent, excellent combination here. Like I said, this is where I actually have to give credit where it's due. But like I said, there are also some bad things. And like I said, this is where the TonberryTroupe infographic addresses these. And I actually have to side with them on the map. Now, with the bad stuff, he is one of those units where you have to be really careful with team composition. This is where some people on Facebook mention, that the infographic makes it seem harder. And this is where I disagree with the Facebook faction, and side with TonberryTroupe, because it's like you're dealing with a character who is part of the chase meta. And with the chase meta in Keiss, granted he owns arguably the best way to launch things, but he works best with specific units. Now, the whole thing with the team composition as a good thing, it's also a bad thing, because you're talking about the launch mechanic. And I remember the Broadway saying when he brought up the Keiss in his video, he mentioned 3 units who could launch and work well with Keiss, meaning that 3 in Broadway saying said was, and these were the following: Zidane, Cloud, and Leo. Leo's style of launch, you have to know the chase value. If you don't know, he's not going to be your go-to chase. Plus, Leo deals magic damage. Now, Zidane, the way he does his launch is through his EX ability. Cloud, you just whip out skill 2 and you're good to go. However, Broadway's saying, I do feel that he left out 3 other units who have means to launch. These units are the following. Tifa from Final Fantasy VII. She has a way to launch via her EX. Now, if you have her EX not only realized, but also at 3 out of 3, she has a minor turn delay mechanic. Now, I could see where she may not work with Keiss, but actually she does. She can work with Keiss if you know how to use her well. Now, another unit that Broadway's saying forgot to mention is Kain from Final Fantasy IV. Like Tifa, like Zidane, Kain also has the means to launch via his EX ability. Now, the thing here with Kain is that he is slated to get a second rework in the near future for Global. With this particular rework, and again, this is his second, Kain's EX weapon will get the realization, which makes him a bit more desirable, and again, someone who can work with Keiss. Now, another unit who can launch is someone who's kind of prominent in the chase meta. She's considered to be one of the best at what she does, can work with Keiss, but is someone that the Broadway saying clearly forgot, and that is Erba Yunfang from Final Fantasy 13. Like Cloud, she can actually launch via the skill 2 alongside Leo. So Leo, Fang, and Cloud have the skill 2 to use when launching. Now, the thing is, what makes her a little bit more difficult than Cloud, but easier than Leo, is that the way Fang launches her opponents is that she has to be the one brave breaking the enemy, or the enemy's bravery is already broken. That's the way she launches. She has 6 uses for that as well. So Fang is one of those who can also work with Keiss. So Keiss, in the sense of the ideal team composition, he only has 6 units that he can work the best with. And the third unit in the team has to be a support, because if you use a 2 launcher with Keiss, you're running a real big risk of the skill 2 running out super quickly. So you have to be extremely careful with the team composition, because alongside a support unit, Keiss only has 6 units that he can work the best with. Now, the infographic also mentions the possibility of enemies that you just cannot launch. This hurts him if this is the case. So again, the team composition, this is extremely important. Now, the infographic also mentions a certain Esper. Now, I'm going to take a quick pause so I can bring the Esper up to the screen. So, with that, I'll be right back. And here is the Esper right here. It is Pandemonium. Now, the reason why Keiss works best with Pandemonium as the Esper is because of a blessing. For anyone whose Pandemonium is at level 30 like mine is, this raises HP and brief damage and chain attacks by 25%. No other conditions apply. Which, again, this is maximizing damage, but the biggest thing here with Pandemonium is that it's tied to an element, this specifically being wind. Now, this does become problematic under the circumstance that the enemy absorbs wind brave damage. So you don't want to unintentionally set the enemy up to one-shot somebody. Now, if the one-shot is at a support unit, you're dead as Dickens. So again, to reiterate, a key weakness here is that with Keiss is that you have to be careful with the team composition. You also have to look at Pandemonium and the enemies you're facing, because there's a chance where the enemy could either be immune to the launch, or they could be absorbing the wind element in sense of bravery damage during the summon. So that's down that. And then another thing here I do want to point out that a lot of people on Facebook do mention that he is still being used to this day. I did take a look at Twitter earlier in the hour, and it turns out regarding the final tier, Keiss might not be a good person to use in the final tier of the FEOD on JP. It's a little spoiler for global, so that's on that. So with Keiss, granted, he is one of those where he is still being used to this day, but with the final tier of FEOD on JP, that actually debunks it. So, my final thoughts here for Keiss. Again, he is an excellent unit. This is somebody to not overlook. I would refer to him as a must-pull, but only if you are brand new to the game. Now, although he's one of those characters that's still being used on JP, but you have to remember, he is, in a sense, could be seen as one in the situational circumstances, because you're talking about enemies that could absorb the wind element brave damage, and enemies that could be immune to the launch. So, with careful planning and knowing when to use him and when not to use him, he is an excellent unit. So, but again, to conclude this video, no one unit is perfect. No one unit is an absolute must-have. So, before I sign off, I do have a video coming out to address some of the comments I've seen on Facebook over Keiss. That's going to be coming either tomorrow or Monday. And now with that, with Wolvie here, signing off, I will catch you all on the flip side.